Hey, what's up? Ken from Palm Beach Dyno here. It's here. ...2020 Shelby GT500. I really am in shock. I mean, this is a dream come true. For those of you that don't know me a real long time, I've been in the Mustang game for, I don't know, over 15 years. I've never owned a Ford SVT, Ford Performance, any of the Ford specialty Mustangs. No Cobra, no GT500, no GT350, no Mach 1, no Bullet, nothing. Always been a Mustang GT guy. In fact, the only specialty vehicle I've ever owned is an SVT Focus. So this is a very special occasion for me personally. And, you know, I've had an opportunity to drive the car. We went ahead and, you know, it's got about 300 or 400 miles on it, as you may have seen on our channel. We've already started tuning them and modifying them with Lee Dennis, an iconic GT500 car. My car is 100% bone stock right now. We're going to go ahead and go through a few things as far as what options package I got, why I did things the way I did them, and what the plan is with the vehicle. And then we're going to go ahead and take it for a quick drive, nothing too crazy, and then we'll pick it up. We're going to be dropping it off actually real soon. In fact, tomorrow morning for the PPF treatment of for the front, tinted windows at Tint King in West Palm Beach. And then it's going to go down to my buddy Dale for ceramic coating. That's going to take almost a week, so I wanted to knock this video out real quick for you guys before I have to send it away. And then next week, we're really going to start digging into this thing. But anyway, let's go over the car and what features you know, we got on the Palm Beach Dyno 2020 GT500. Okay, to start it off, as you can see, we went with Velocity Blue, no stripes. I was on the fence on the stripes. I really like the stripes. When you look back on the earlier GT500s, I definitely prefer stripes. And the main reason I prefer the stripes on the older GT500 is that is the one thing. Now, of course, people could put stripes on any vehicle, and some do, like Roush has stripes. But when you saw a car that looked like a GT500 and it had stripes, it's a good indication that it's probably a GT500. On this car, I believe that's going to be accomplished from this bumper. It's a unique setup. Of course, you could do this to your Mustang GT. There's already a replica bumper. We've tuned a car with one, and it looks pretty good. But I figured with the way this front end is, it already says GT500, so I prefer no stripes. I wouldn't pay $10,000 for them, but painted stripes I would consider. Options. We went with the technology package and the black roof. That's it. Why? Now, one thing that I really wanted that I didn't get, as you can see here in the interior, is the carbon fiber dashboard. The carbon fiber dashboard is badass, but when I ordered the car, I was paranoid that I would order something that might be in low supply in the beginning, and carbon fiber was one of those things I was worried about, so I didn't do it. Now, I believe this is something that I could eventually change, and I do plan on doing that. If I keep the car, and I do most likely plan on keeping the car, due to some recent developments that I will tell you about in an upcoming video, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, as far as chassis tag, I am L0466, So one of the early cars. What else? Seats. I did not do Recaro seats. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are wondering why. Well, a few reasons. A, the initial thought was they're not that much lighter. And if they're not that much lighter, I kind of wanted to go with the AC. And, you know, the white was really my biggest concern, to be honest with you. There's so much white on the Recaros, and I am, you know, I daily drive this thing back and forth to the shop, all those sorts of things. And, you know, I was just paranoid that those were going to get ruined. But I did decide to go with some race seats, and we'll show you those and reveal which seats I went with in a future video. They'll be here later this week. Let's go ahead and look under the hood. Now, of course, you guys have all seen under the hood of these things. But let's look at this one. So for those that are unfamiliar, you pop the hood inside first, then you hit each one of these. Sometimes you got to wrestle with it a little bit. And then it's very heavy. The hood is 43 pounds. That is one lightweight component other than the race seats that I'm doing that I most likely will do. Anderson Composites has a carbon hood that is exactly the same as stock. It accepts this heat extractor, and it saves over 20 pounds. So most likely I will do that. Nothing special going on under the hood yet. Now, for those of you people that are have GT500s and are considering modifications, one of the early mods that I wanted to point out is the oil catch can from the factory. I think that's a great idea, but I do not like how it's installed. You get a bracket over top of your coil cover that is not easy to remove, will make changing and checking spark plugs difficult. The nice thing about the factory one is there's a port right here that allows the catch can to drain back into the valve cover, so you never have to empty it. So the opportunity presents itself for one of you aftermarket manufacturers to make a catch can that maybe mounts here, that's easy to remove to get to the spark plugs, but does drain to the factory location. I love that idea. We've done that on custom applications, but I've never really seen anybody offer a turnkey or, you know, like a regular part number off the shelf that drains back. And normally it's because there's not a spot. They put the spot there for us, so we're in good shape. Anyway, that's about it on this, you know, on what we did here. Obviously, we've got the factory wheels that come with it. We did not get the carbon track pack. I am going, in Dream World, I'm going to track down a set of the carbon fiber wheels down the road. My guess is they're going to be almost impossible to get, but that was my plan. Anderson Composites makes carbon fiber stuff for this, for almost all of it now. They've got the wing and the gurney flap. They've got the handling pack. I did not get the handling pack because I knew Anderson was coming out with all those pieces in carbon, and I want to do them in carbon. So you got the gurney flap that goes right here. Both of those pieces right there are available in carbon. This is available in carbon. This is available in carbon. This is available in carbon. And I can't afford to do all that right out of the gate, but I'll probably try and do a little bit at a time. So anyway, now real quick, we're going to take it for a ride, but the plans for the car. I don't want to try and hit a home run with this car right out of the gate. I want to modify it in the same way that most of my customers would. So that's going to be tune only to start. Then we will do maybe a race gas tune. Then possibly modify the exhaust with the lethal track exhaust. I'd like to go as fast as I possibly can on both 93, race gas, and E85 with the stock pulley before I up the boost. So that'll really allow us to get a really fine-tuned setup and get the most out of each combo, and then we'll change pulleys as we go. I am going to road race this car. The nice thing about it is the Grip Tech pulleys are available at a close to stock size, so I can put the smaller pulley on for street fun, drag racing, whatever. And then when I go road racing, I'll put it back to stock boost because, you know, really this is plenty of power for road racing. So anyway, let's go ahead and take it for a drive and then see how it does. And then, you know, keep an eye on this car. We'll have videos every few days, hopefully starting next week. We'll probably do a quick video on the PPF, the ceramic coating, the tinting, all those sorts of things. And, you know, make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the bell, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, let's see how the drive went. Now, as most of you know, and I'm not going to go over every little detail in this vehicle because most of you have seen some pretty in-depth reviews from professional car reviewers, and that's not really the intent of this. This is more from the enthusiast's perspective, somebody who may modify this vehicle or wants more out of this vehicle, or is really going to use this vehicle for its intent. We're going to road race it, we're going to drag race it, we're going to autocross it, and all those sorts of things. So like I said, I typically drive the car in sport mode, but there are multiple modes. So here we go, we switch it over to normal mode. Now the main difference that I've noticed is well, everything, the sensitivity of the pedal, the way it holds gears for you, and all those sorts of things. I'd say most people are going to want to drive in sport mode most of the time. So and of course you have the different exhaust notes that change and all that. Right now it's quieter because I just put it in normal mode. We're not even going to do that though. Let's go ahead and put it in sport mode, and we'll go ahead and put it in track mode so you guys can hear the car the best possible. I wish I had a mic on the outside, but I don't. So anyway, this is part throttle, just accelerating. This car is very difficult to travel slowly in without really any effort there. We were up to 80 miles an hour. I was at very light throttle. The nice thing also is okay, we're in 7th gear, and you can make this thing sing with the shifts. Put it wherever you want. I know a lot of you know about the hold down the left paddle, and that will select the lowest possible gear. One caveat to that, I have been in a situation where I've held down the left paddle and it downshifted 1 gear further than I would have liked. So be careful using that feature. It won't hurt anything, but you might wind up, you know, if you're trying to do a rolling pull, you might wind up starting it at you know, 6,800 or so, and that's just not going to work. It's not enough RPM left. Speaking of RPM, as you guys know, this engine was limited to 7,500 RPM from Ford. From our experience with other Coyotes and the GT350, even a regular Mustang GT Coyote loves to rev to 8,000 RPM. They all make the power to 8,000 RPM. I have the benefit of doing this car review after tuning a few 2020 GT500s, and I can tell you that it will make power to 8,000. Now, I have seen some things on the data logs that show us that the throttle body and or blower inlet can probably benefit from some porting and a larger throttle body for higher RPM performance. And of course, we are going to do that. There's plenty of blower porting companies out there. I'm friends with a few of them, so I'm not going to mention any of them right now, but we'll be working, I'm sure we'll be working with all of them, whether it's on this car or on a customer's car, or those sorts of things. And it'll be nice to see who does the best job. Price is always a factor, but I'm mostly interested in who does the best job, best power, and all that. Maybe someday we'll do a blower porting shootout, if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if most of the blower porters out there will want to do that. Sometimes that could be a little unfair if you don't do it exactly right and every little detail right, but I'm willing to do it if the blower porting guys want to do it. If not, we'll obviously show you the results on each individual car, and then you can draw your own conclusions on that. You know, one thing that I haven't heard a lot of, obviously there's some people road racing this vehicle, but not a lot of that. I mean, Mustangs are, you know, typically more drag racing than road racing, but that changes with this vehicle, so I'm going to change with this vehicle. I've participated in a lot of road racing as a tuner, but I've never driven a car around a road course other than just, you know, tooling around Palm Beach International Raceway when we aren't actually racing. So, you know, that's up for this car. We're gonna do autocross, we're gonna do road racing. Let's go ahead and do a quick hit here on this highway ramp where it's a little safe. So we'll hold down left paddle. Okay, that's it. Gotta slow down, go a little too fast. But anyway, as you can see, this thing is just phenomenal. But one thing we can't really show you here on Florida streets is the you know, handling of this thing, because there's nowhere to do that. I will admit I've acted a little bit like a jerk driving to traffic in the morning just to test it out, weaving in and out of traffic a little bit, never going over the speed limit, of course, but weaving in and out of traffic just a bit to get a feel for the car. And I cannot wait to get this thing on a road course. It has 305 tires up front, and it just goes where you want it to go. It's a point and shoot car. It's to the point where it feels like a video game almost, between the responsiveness of the paddles, the shifting of it, all those things. It's amazing. So, you know, it's really difficult to go wrong with this purchase. Obviously, when we heard about the specs of this vehicle and the weight is something that a lot of people are concerned about. If you check a future video, I've already weighed a few, but we're waiting on weighing one more vehicle. We're gonna do a video specifically on the weight of this vehicle, what the different packages add or subtract, Recaros versus the seats that I currently have. Weight's the big topic on this vehicle. All of them are over 4,000 pounds without driver. But we're going to show you what the different packages weigh, what the Recaros save you, what the technology package costs you. What we're going to do is we're going to weigh the vehicles with fuel in them, of course, but we can log the exact percentage that the car is reporting of fuel. We know it's a 16-gallon tank. We'll do the math right down to the fuel number to give you as an exact of a combination as we can right now. And then when we take these seats out to put our race seats in, we'll give you a weight of these seats. And then if anybody winds up taking a Recaro out, we can do that. But just weighing the cars complete with their packages should be good enough for what we're trying to accomplish. So anyway, what's up for this car? Let's talk about that. What we're going to do is, right now the car is bone stock. So the very next time you see this vehicle, will be on the dyno, and we will do a pump gas tune with everything else 100% stock. Right now I'm in the middle of trying to source out a set of factory wheels for this, not a set, but just two, because I want to do a lot of tire testing for you guys. Right now with the stock tires, you know, it's pretty poor from the low speed, as you can see on the 0 to 60 tests. So I want to test both Mickey Thompson's for you guys and Toyos. So what we'll probably do is tune the vehicle, get a set of spare wheels, put the Mickeys on the set of spares, OEM wheels, so they're exactly the same, and we'll take it to the track. We'll do a hit stock, we'll do a hit stock with drag radials, and we'll do a hit stock, or excuse me, tuned with the drag radials. And then further down the road, I might put a set of Toyos on what my Michelins are currently on, which is, you know, we're driving on right now, and then we'll do a back-to-back test with Toyos and Mickey Thompsons. For an all-around tire, I can tell you right now the Toyos are your best bet because they'll last a little bit, and for maximum performance, the Mickey Thompsons are probably your best bet. That's sticking with a 20-inch wheel. I'm not going to a smaller wheel or any of that stuff. This car is going to stay an all-around performer because I do plan to autocross it and road race it. So what's after that? I don't know. Maybe modifying the exhaust. Maybe I'll do a pulley before I modify the exhaust. Race gas tune. Those sorts of things. I am going to try to leave the exhaust as stock as possible and leave the pulley stock as long as possible to fully refine our tuning for a stock vehicle as best as we can, because we know that you guys are mostly going to leave these vehicles stock with a tune because it already has so much power. And then once I've refined the tune to the point where I think it's flawless, then we'll move on to more extreme modifications with this particular vehicle. Obviously we have Lee Dennis. He's doing a lot of development work for us. He already has the E85 and the 265 pulley, and Steve, Iconic GT500, he has a setup also that's very similar. They've both trapped over 140 miles an hour. Iconic GT500 is trapped 145, paddle shifting it. You have to paddle shift it for the higher trap speeds because we currently do not have TCM support. TCM, for those that aren't familiar, stands for transmission control module, and that's what controls the transmission. So right now we're only tuning the engine. We can't tune the automatic shift points, but if you're paddle shifting, obviously you can do that yourself. So there's a lot more. We're just scratching the surface. We're going to do everything from weight reduction, and when I say weight reduction, we're talking without ruining the vehicle or getting rid of any features. So The seats are going to be the first order of weight reduction for myself. I'm considering the Anderson Composites carbon fiber hood, which should take about 20 pounds out. After that, you know, I'm not going to get too extreme, but a couple of 100 pounds is going to make a huge difference in this vehicle. So anyway, we'll wrap it up on this one. On the next one for this vehicle, you'll see it on the dyno for the tune. And then stay tuned to our channel. Make sure you subscribe for all sorts of GT500 coverage, Coyote coverage. We have our 2011 dead spool 7-second 6R80 car that will be running a lot this year. A lot of exciting things happening at Palm Beach Dyno. So make sure you subscribe and don't miss any of our videos. See you on the next one.